I always think positive. It will work, but I don't hope I make it work.
Tell us the story then of your relationship with Red Bull.
It just didn't work. I'm done. That I stayed in the States to open up my own company.
How do you go about fostering trust in a team?
I always try to find a way that they collaborate, that at least they don't fight each other. There doesn't need to be the big friendship, but there needs to be respect. If you don't like the guy you work with, you still trust him that he can do his job right. It's not you guys missing out, it's the whole team missing out if then these two guys cannot figure out between them not to crash into each other. Otherwise, you don't achieve anything. How can, as a pessimist, how can you achieve? You achieve something, but you don't achieve something big, in my opinion. I always think positive. It will work, but I don't hope I make it work, because if you just hope, it's not going to happen. You need to work at it. You cannot just say, "Oh, this will be fantastic." And I think when I see this will work, there is a reason. And again, is it maybe instinct? Is it positiveness? Because you've got very good people which are always negative. And they're still good people. I think they're still good people, but they just cannot get over that hurdle to say it will be okay. I don't know if they're scared of it, that it could be a failure, but I always think it will be good, and then if it isn't good, I'm gonna sort it out anyway, so what's the problem, because if I don't even start, how can I sort it out, because I never get there, you say, this is what we're gonna do, and if it doesn't happen how I planned it, there is always, you can do it a different way. I'm not getting desperate or hiding away, because with failing, you learn a lot as well in life, in my opinion. Failing is not something people should take as detrimental. I failed once, now I cannot do it anymore. No, I failed once. I failed more than once, by the way.
What's your biggest failure?
I don't know, but I think it's more in life that you just didn't get it done how you wanted it, but you got something else out of it. That's what I always feel. For example, when I went to Red Bull in Formula One, it wasn't what it should have been, but then I went to America for Red Bull, and what came out? Haas F1, I'm in a better position than before. It's like, and I wouldn't call it a complete failure, because I went for Red Bull to America to open up the NASCAR team, and then that didn't work out. I opened up my own company. You just keep on going, but I always try to do my best wherever I was. I started when they bought it. I knew Mr. Mateschitz from a long time, and I started there, and it just didn't work. The chemistry wasn't there, so Mr. Mateschitz asked me if I want to go to the States to open up, because
chemistry with who?
With the management there.
Right.
I don't want to say persons here, we don't go down to names, and it just didn't work, and but you have to accept that it doesn't work. It didn't hurt me, but in then I went to the States. Mr. Mateschitz asked me, I did what I did there, and I think I was on a good track, and then again there came some problems there from that side, and I said, I'm done, but I'm going to do something different. And I stayed in the States to open up my own company, So, and now we've got that company, it's got 200 people. While I was doing that company, I started off with a business plan to do Haas F1. I got that one going, and that one is going now. There is always...
All because of optimism.
Exactly, because I was not like sitting at home dwelling over it because something didn't work out as it was planned, No, just keep on going, It's fine. It's fine. There was no... I have no regret. And the same at Jaguar. When I went to Jaguar, it was a mess when I got there. Obviously, I'm not blaming Nicky or me on that one, because we were not given the time. It was too messed up, They let Nicky go, and I was offered to stay there. I said, I don't really want to stay here with the people I'm around, because I don't see I can be successful. I rather move on. And I moved on, And I decided myself, instead of just staying somewhere to have a job, you need to say, hey, it was fine. I learned a lot, I've got a lot of possibilities. I just move on, I don't force myself to do something. And I was a little bit lucky, I think, in my life in general, that I always had a job I like to do. I never kept a job I didn't like. I always, either I was moved or I moved, both ways. I'm not saying that it was always my choice, but I never regretted it, even if I was moved, because it was the right thing to do. The people you work with, you need honesty between, between management. You always need to be transparent and honest. That is what you need, And if you don't have that trust, in other people, you better move on. That's my opinion, because then you're always just fighting your own, what I call your own team. And as in anywhere competitive, what you need to fight is the other ones. I mean, now fight in a good way. I mean,
sure.
not punching each other or shooting each other, but fighting in racing on the track. That is where where your energy needs to go, not internal energy, who is who and who is doing what. Sometimes it's not easy. I mean, it's a good question how you do it, but I think you need to lead by example. And when you see in your team, you've got, for example, I've got about 8 direct reports. Do they all work perfectly together between them? Maybe not, but you just jump in if you have to fix something. You know, you've got two good people there. You don't want to lose either, but between them, they then get on. I always try to find a way that they collaborate, that at least they don't fight each other, that at least they work with each other. They don't need to be the best friends. And I say this always for drivers in a team. If you've got 2 drivers, there doesn't need to be the big friendship. They don't need to be big mates. I think that is actually on the racetrack counterproductive, because both get lazy, because they're big mates. But there needs to be respect, for the job the other one is doing. There needs to always to be trust between, and the same is in management. If you can trust, if you don't like the guy you work with for different reasons, because there is millions of reasons why you could not like a person, or not like, or just not be a perfect match, but you still trust him that he can do his job right, and that's good enough for me. And you just need to keep a closer eye on that. I think what Christian did there is, I never thought about this. It's a great idea, because sometimes we need to remember that we are actually privileged people, and it's a good come together. I think I never heard this, but I think it's a good way to do it. So how I give you an example. I had 2 drivers before. They crashed into each other every time, and at some stage I actually got sick of it, and I just sat them down and said, guys, I cannot tell you how to race, because I'm not sitting in the car. You need to sort that one out. But could you come together between you two to find I call it an agreement, not even gentleman. Just find an agreement. There doesn't need to be a gentleman agreement. How you're competing, because otherwise you two will be losing out, both of you. Because I need to make some changes otherwise, because this is not sustainable for the team, what you're doing, because it's not you guys missing out, it's the whole team missing out, trying to make them understand that everybody in the team is looking up to them, and if they mess it up, they're saying, why should we work hard if then these 2 guys cannot figure out between them not to crash into each other?
Why was that happening, do you think?
Race car drivers, the teammate is their first opponent, they want to beat him first, and just to be right, it's just I think and maybe it happened because there was too much pressure onto them, but by me telling them it's no need to do this, but I think they both wanted to show who is the better one. As simple as this. Sometimes things are very simple, and race car drivers sometimes are very simple. And I just told them, guys, I'm done with talking with you before each race, because I'm not at the start. I cannot influence anymore. You need to understand that this guy with the same car as you, with the same colors as you have got, is the guy to avoid to crash into. It obviously can happen in a start situation in Formula One, that you crash into each other, but not when you're out there racing for 7-8 corners, trying to, you need to, you need to find a way to coexist, and we as a team will support you, because if somebody gets an advantage, we will give the advantage back. I explained that as well, but it's just like trying to make them aware that they are just part of a team. They are not racing for themselves. They are racing for the team. It's the same like we said before with the managers. If they don't work together, if they don't have the respect of each other, they are counterproductive, and we waste energy in the team if they fight.
And what happened in that situation?
They found a way to coexist. Yeah, but it took a few races, and I was.
What do you think they did?
They sat down together. I know what they did, and they sat down together, as I said, and I said, guys, I don't want to tell you what to do. You two need to know and tell each other what you're gonna do. Because I'm not a race car driver. I'm sorry. I can tell you what I expect from the team, but how you're gonna do it at the racetrack, I cannot say. If you are in front of me at turn 7, I go in. That's not my job, because I'm not going at 300 km per hour. You need to find that yourself. think every driver and person is different, and they need to be treated different. And obviously, my relationship with Mick wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I mean, but I think a relationship depends on two people. I cannot make a relationship work if you don't want to have a relationship with me. That is, and I don't think he didn't want a relationship. I honestly think he didn't know any better. He's very young still. And I wouldn't say that I'm a easy character as a person. I would never classify myself as easy. I'm pretty tough, but I'm very fair. I'm a very fair person. I'm very honest. I'm very fair, and some people cannot deal with that or have difficulty to understand that. I'm not saying something with always something in the back of my mind to do different. No, I'm sometimes straight out. I tell you what I think. If you like it, fine. If you don't like it, still fine. I mean, I can agree to disagree. I have no problem, and I've got that a lot with drivers. Mainly, not everything needs to be made bigger than it is. So I think our relationship was okay, but obviously you always can do something better after with hindsight. I'm one of them. I could have done things better, and I think he could have done things better. And I don't want to blame him for this, because I'm not here to blame that. So it's just like sometimes you don't click. Sometimes it's not the perfect click, it's not the perfect match. But then being critiqued by people how I should do my job. It's like, okay, I'm doing this quite a while now, I've got my way, and you've got yours. But we can be, not one needs to be right and one wrong. It can be different, because if you look in the business world, in the racing world, there is a lot of different characters and different styles having success. There is not one recipe for success. Otherwise, it would be too easy. You read the book of the recipe and you're successful. That would be too easy. There's more than one way to do things.